Hello, and welcome back to the Salon Beauty Doctor here on YouTube. And in today's video, we are going to be doing yet another trial of mineral sunscreens for dark skin, except this time, each of these sunscreens that I'm going to be trying out are tinted. So, some good, some bad. Girl, there's some ugly too. So keep watching. Now we're probably maybe video 4 or 5 deep into this mineral sunscreens for dark skin series that I've been doing, but sometimes we get new people coming along, and although I personally like a chemical sunscreen, I do realize that the mineral sunscreen options for darker skin can be kind of far and few in between. So I've been testing out a lot of mineral sunscreens here. I do this for the culture, but mineral sunscreens can be kind of tough on deeper skin. I mean, some of them can even be really ashy on very light skin tones as well. Now, the reason why mineral sunscreens can be so ashy is because of the active ingredients. So 2 ways that brands are able to make mineral sunscreens a little bit more cosmetically elegant. 1, they either micronize the particles so that they're not as detected, or 2, they tint them. Now, tinting isn't always going to be, the best option, because you'll see. But let's get into some of these tinted mineral sunscreens. So first up, the Replenix UltiMATTE Perfection SPF 50 tinted mineral sunscreen. Now this is the second Replenix sunscreen that I've tried, and I'm kind of thinking, I had never heard of this brand before until my series. But Replenix knows a thing or two about making a mineral sunscreen cosmetically elegant on deeper skin. I have to say that this one, it blended in really beautifully in the skin. It's called UltiMATTE, but I wouldn't say that this is like casket sharp matte. I would say that this gives you more of like a satin matte finish, where it's matte, but it's not matte. You get a little bit of a nice natural skin finish without the heaviness. So this is probably better for people with oilier skin. And when I tell you, I really had to get in and look under different lighting to really tell if this left a tint. Now, it's not gonna be as invisible as some of the chemical sunscreens that have a clear formula or that rub in really well in the skin. But as far as it comes with mineral sunscreens, this Replenix one is amazing. And then I would say that this is gonna work really well with makeup. You could wear this on its own. I do think that if you have a much deeper skin tone than mine, you might still have a little bit of a cast. But once you put makeup on, it's not gonna be that noticeable. And then one quick thing about flashback, because any of these mineral sunscreens, because of the active ingredients in them, you might experience some flashback even if you're wearing makeup. My thing with that is, do you really need to take pictures with flash? Because natural light is just so pretty. It's just raise your hand. Leave a comment below if you're still taking pictures with flash. Because I understand you need to take pictures with flash at nighttime because, if you're at the party or whatever, your folks get into. But then you don't need to wear sunscreen at night. So let me know. Let me know your story when it comes to, the taking of your pictures and whatnot and your flashback. Because I haven't had to worry about flashback since before the iPhone came out. And that was over 10 years ago. So anyway, this one is bomb. I will link it in the description box so you can get more information and buy it. Next up, the Mychelle Sun Protection Sun Shield Liquid SPF 50. This I got in the natural tan medium/dark shade. This one comes in a dropper, which I thought was kind of cool. Just don't do the whole, put the dropper on your face kind of thing, because typically when you're putting a product like this on, your face already has your moisturizer, whatever skincare ingredients and whatnot. And you don't want to, your oils and stuff, you don't want all that mixing in back into your product, so don't do that. This one has a matte finish, as opposed to the Replenix had a satin matte finish. The Mychelle has more of a true matte finish, but again, not something that's casket sharp. you're probably gonna see a little bit of a tint. If you have deeper skin than mine, you'll probably see more of a tint than I did. This blended in my skin pretty well, but I would like to see them do maybe 2 more of the deeper shades. When it comes to a tinted sunscreen, a tinted mineral sunscreen, you don't need a whole bunch of shades because, you know, they can kind of blend. But when it comes to the deeper skin, I would love to see 2 deeper shades in this formula. It works really nicely with makeup. The Replenix works well with makeup as well. Now, with mineral sunscreen, you don't need to wait for it to be active for you to go out in the sun. You could put a mineral sunscreen on and then go right out and you're covered. But when I say wait to let it settle, I mean that in terms of makeup, because what you don't want to happen is, you know, as it's sitting on your skin and then you go put makeup on, you don't want to like be taking the sunscreen off. So just give it a couple of minutes. I would say maybe like 10 minutes if you have it, that'll be good. And then when you're applying your makeup, I would use a makeup sponge as opposed to a foundation brush. I found that the foundation brush can kind of move the sunscreen around more than a sponge, because at least with the sponge, you're kind of just like dabbing. You know, just be mindful of that. But not a bad option. They need more shades, obviously, but not too bad. And if you put makeup on over it, it's not even a big deal anyway. So another one that I'm like, yeah. If you want to find out more information and buy it, I will link it in the description box, so make sure you check that out. Ignore the light. I can't control the clouds, you know? I'd call in a favor with the man upstairs, but, you know, I would have to imagine that he's busy and, you know, I might have bigger things I need to ask him for. But anyway, next up, the EltaMD UV Elements Broad Spectrum SPF 44. This is a moisturizing physical sunscreen. It's water resistant up to 40 minutes. And this was Ash City. Now here's the thing with a mineral sunscreen. I find the best way to apply this on deeper skin is to work in thin layers until you get the proper amount of sunscreen on your face. Because any mineral sunscreen, if you just put a little bit on and then shear it out, you know, it's going to blend into your skin, but then you also don't have enough sun protection on. So that's my tip, to kind of just work in lighter layers. Typically you need about a nickel size amount for the face. Now we all have bigger faces and smaller faces and, you know, different face sizes, so, you know, work accordingly. You want to make sure that you're getting your sunscreen into your hairline, on your ears, behind your ears. Me personally, I don't put my facial sunscreen on my neck and my chest. I use my body sunscreen for that. And for me, it's just a matter of me being like, look, man, facial sunscreens cost way more than body sunscreens, and I'm not trying to waste my product or my coin. So, you know, that's my little thing here. So even with, you know, layering this on, waiting a couple of minutes, it still was like ghost face killer. Now, if you put your makeup on top of it, I think that, and you have to be, like, you'd have to have as much makeup as I have on now in order for this to kind of like really blend in. Because I think even if you just put like a tinted moisturizer or, you know, just a little, you know, whatever your foundation is just on top, I still think that the ash is gonna be fighting its way through. I think something like this, it's gonna require, you know, some like bronzer to warm you up, maybe some blush to add in, you know, a pop of color. I just wouldn't recommend this. If you have a lighter skin tone though, you know, you probably can get this to work in a little bit better for you. It is oil-free, so, you know, if you're looking for that, you know, oil-free. And I would say that because it is a little bit more moisturizing, I would say that this might be nicer for someone with a drier skin type. I wouldn't say someone who's very dry that this is what you would, you know, go for. But in the summertime, it might be a good option for you. Now, here's the thing. All of these are straight up sunscreens, so which means that you wear your moisturizer and then you put the sunscreen on top. This one says that it's for all skin types. It felt a little heavy for me for my oily skin in the summer. So if this had worked with the tint for me, this would probably be something that I would wear like maybe spring, fall, when the weather's not as warm. But then you can also control, you know, the moisture that you're getting, you know, from your moisturizer itself or your hydrator. Next up, the MDSolarSciences Tinted Mineral Cream SPF 30. This is water resistant up to 80 minutes. I actually really like this one. This is really nice, and it has like a really nice texture to it. The ingredients aren't on the packaging, it's in the box, and the box is in the other room, but this will be linked below so you can, you know, find out where to buy it and, you know, get the ingredients list and all of that. But there's something in it that makes it really glide really nicely on the skin that I actually really like. This also has a nice soft matte finish. So for someone with oily skin like myself, I would love a formula like this as well. Works really well with makeup. If you have a dry skin type, I would say that this might work well for you maybe like when it's warmer out, but again, because it's a, you know, straight up sunscreen, whatever moisturizer and or hydrator that you're using underneath, you know, make sure that that is, you know, working for your skin type and the current season or weather conditions or what have you in your area. And then, you know, this is something that you would just kind of put on top. Might be a little bit too drying in the colder months if you have drier skin, but I think that this is a nice option, you know, all around for oilier skin types. And I love that if there was a cast, it was very, very slight. But again, if you have a much richer skin tone than me, the tint might be a little bit more obvious on you. Again, this is something because it works well with makeup, that if you're putting makeup on top, it's gonna be, you know, it's not gonna be detectable, you know, unless you do like the flashback. But again, like, let me know. Are y'all still taking pictures with flash out there? Let me know. Let's talk about it, because I'm curious, because, you know, natural light pictures just look really, really good. And if you're doing a photo shoot and you're using flash and you don't want flashback, I think it's okay to not, you know, for that small amount of time to not have a mineral sunscreen on, you know what I'm saying? So those are your options, but this MDSolarSciences, it was nice. It was quite nice. Okay, and last but unfortunately probably the least, this Sun Bum Mineral Tinted Sunscreen Face Lotion. This is an SPF 30. It's water resistant up to 40 minutes. Now this one, it feels really great. It has a nice satin matte finish. However, that tint, like, here's the thing, you gotta make sure that you put enough sunscreen on, because then it's like, why you half stepping? And you're putting mineral sunscreens on, if you go in too hard, like if you take the right amount and you just kind of put it on your face, it is going to be extremely hard to blend. So which is why I suggest working in thin layers. You know, get your glop out, make sure you're putting enough out so that you have enough overall on your face, but take a little bit at a time, rub it in, a little at a time, rub it in, and work in thin layers. But this one was kind of, it's not the ashiest I've seen, but it's out of all of these, well, the Sun Bum and the EltaMD are kind of neck and neck for the ashtidity of it all. But the funny thing is, they're still not the ashiest, you know, out there, because if you look at my other videos, there are some that are ashier. So yeah. Now, another thing that I want you to know about mineral sunscreen is because of the way that they sit on the skin, you know, they give the skin a protective shield, is that when you're going to do your nighttime skincare routine, or, you know, whenever time you do your end of the day skincare routine, when you're going to take it off, you might strongly want to consider a double cleanse, because these are kind of hard to come off with just a regular, simple, gentle cleanser. So what I like to do is I like to use a cleansing oil. There's also cleansing balms out there as well. I have a list of ones that I've tried over the years, and I'll link that in the description box. But you know, you use that, you massage it into, you know, with dry hands on your dry skin, massage it, give it, you know, maybe like 30 to 45 seconds, massage it off, rinse that off, and then you follow with your regular gentle cleanser to make sure that you get all the sunscreen off. Because while mineral sunscreen's a great thing to protect the skin from the sun and, you know, further pigmenting the skin, you don't want that, you know, sitting on top of your skin and then your other products can't get in the way that they need to. So you want to make sure that you're taking it off properly. And then another thing with mineral sunscreens, and especially these, because if you're gonna wear makeup on top of them, you might be like, well, how do I touch up my sunscreen when I'm wearing makeup. And I have a video for you to check out. I'll link it above and below. It talks about different options on what you can do to reapply your sunscreen during the day that include both mineral and chemical options. Now, if I had to rank these that I tried in this video, I would say the Replenix is number 1, followed by the MDSolarSciences, and then followed by the Mychelle, the Elta and the Sun Bum. Like, they're not the worst, but you know, they just can't sit in this club. You know what I'm saying? And guys, if you love mineral sunscreen reviews for deeper skin tones, make sure you're subscribed to this channel, and make sure that you are subscribed to this channel even if you thought you were subscribed, because you can be watching my videos for months, maybe even years, and that subscribe button ain't hit. And also make sure you thumbs up to see more videos like this. I'm gonna hit you with a couple more mineral sunscreens for dark skin videos before the year ends. And my plan is to, somewhere towards the end of 2020, do a video where I just kind of give you a roundup of all of the best ones that I've tried in all of 2020. So make sure you're subscribed and you have your notifications on so you don't miss that. Follow me on social, the links will be in the description box, and I will see you fine folks in my next video. Bye guys.